We are going the distance for our last series of the night. Hopefully we have a blockbuster game 3 as well. Spirit 1-1 tie versus one move, like we've been saying, a lot on the line here for this game. Danog, what do we need to see differently in this next draft? Because it definitely felt like, for one move in particular, big advantage in the lanes. That being said though, Spirit, they had second pick, so often we see the team with second pick, they are a little bit better in regards to the lane setup. Do we feel like this is just some things that went unaddressed in the draft, or what do we feel like we need to look at?
Yeah, they just gave themselves at least two losing lanes, in my opinion, right? And game one, it was kind of similar for one move, right? The lanes weren't great, and they didn't have that late game win condition for themselves to get them out of any sort of hole. Like we saw there, Yatoro nearly did it for Team Spirit. You know, he obviously playing as Juggernaut, super comfortable on that hero, as he is with many, but just make it easy for yourselves. I wonder, do we know who's got the priority this time around? It looks like Team Spirit have second pick again, so for their sake, for, you know, a top 2 placing in Eastern Europe, you would have to hope that they're going to set the lanes up a little better than this. We were expecting, you know, something that might not be the Batrider to come out first in the draft, and if they did, we wanted the potential to flex it. As soon as we saw the Quap, we were like, oh, it's going to be off lane, but then they just didn't get rid of the biggest counters. So Slark comes through, you need to still run it mid. Felt a little bit awkward, and, you know, it was just a snowball effect from there. So props to one move, they played it very well. Team Spirit delayed it very well, but again, it was, you were going up against like a 10k net worth lead plus from like the, what was it, 20-minute mark onwards, it felt like?
Yeah, it was pretty much for a vast majority of that game. They had the lead and a big lead at that. So when they're heading into this final draft, again, we've seen Spirit, often it's been the Batrider first phase. Maybe they just go back to what worked for them in game 1 though. Go the Pugna plus Storm, Pugna plus 1, whatever you want to. I mean, still they've had a lot of success with the Batrider. So they can go down that route if they want to as well. But there is a lot of options for them.
5 seconds
There's no reason
remaining.
for one move to go away from the techies. If I'm Spirit, I'm actually banning techies here, just because you can run at 4, you can run at 5, and it's good in both roles. You know, you just flex what you actually need for it. You know, that time around, it was pretty standard. Just Pavis, Solar Crest, and eventually even able to get into the Aghanim Scepter just to make it a little easier. I mean, they don't ban it, and sure, pick it up, right? We saw the minefield basically acting like a Wukong's when they went for that high ground push, right? You just couldn't walk up into it, otherwise you were going to blow up.
Let's see.
10 seconds
What do you got if it's
remaining.
not Pugna plus Storm or Bat plus 1?
5 seconds remaining.
No blood to open up. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I haven't seen too much of Mirror's Rubik, which is a little bit sad because he's definitely one of the best Rubiks out there.
And Maposhka can play it if you really need it.
That's true. Maposhka has a very mean position 5 Rubik as well. So
Gotta say, that hoodie
See what
looks very
route.
comfortable.
it is very comfy.
Team
Very comfy.
Spirits turn to
I liked.
battle.
Say that again. Lost it.
You're gonna need to hook me up with where
you
it's
up?
from.
Factory, just a classic factory shirt jumper. Sorry,
Nice.
I get a lot of my clothes from there. People from Australia will know. There was a green jumper that I've worn on stream a little bit, and when I went in to buy it, I wanted the pink
10
one as well, the
seconds
lavender one,
remaining.
pink, whatever you want to say. And they didn't have the size I wanted, so I was a little
5
bit upset. But
seconds remaining.
you know, when you find something that looks good, you try and buy as many as you can in different colors. So I'm like, all right, I'll cop in another color as well.
Were you looking for the
Regardless.
extra large? Like, what was the size that you were looking
Dire
for there?
team back.
I usually do wear extra large. This is a large, and it's actually very big on me. So I'm a big boy currently. I'm very big. Too big.
man.
This is the biggest I've ever been. So
Oh,
yeah.
scared. Colossal
okay.
Titan here.
Colossal
Pugna Storm
Titan.
does come through. Again,
10
I mean,
seconds
why not? It
remaining.
worked out so
Team
well for them.
Spirits
It's just such a
turn
tried and
to
true
battle.
combination. Hopefully for one move, like, this is the exact similar opening to what they had last time around. Just stick with a Void Spirit mid. I mean, Anchorat's going to be able to make it work. He's very solid on the hero, and if you wanted to play Ember Spirit, just pick Ember Spirit here. It still would have been fine enough, you know, like, he's
10
good enough
seconds
on the hero.
remaining.
It's enough of a comfort that even though Storm is better into it, I just don't want to see
5
another
seconds
another
remaining.
Spirit hero come out here. Maybe you even go something like even a TA,
Dire
you know, if
team
you want to
back.
run this as a position 1 Void Spirit, I could see TA working.
Why did they not just quap?
Good question. Maybe, maybe feeling like they need a little bit more like backline dive, and Void Spirit gives a little more than that because you're
10
so like
seconds remaining.
committed once you use that blink in on the quap, especially early when you might only
5
have like 1
seconds
point into
remaining.
it because you're maxing out the Q for the lane.
Okay, and to further onto that with that dive, I mean, I think Void Spirit's probably a better way to address the Pugna because you're a Nullify builder compared to the Queen of Pain. So maybe there's a lot of issues with just the Nether Ward compared to your Void Spirit. Eventually, we'll be able to deal with him. So like that, we'll now look towards again Spirit. What are we gonna go back in the Lich for? Maposhka. What is other? What it's Enchantress Disruptor that's been getting banned out. Try to think of some other ones. Really all
Enchantress
that come to
Disruptor.
mind.
That's pretty much it. I mean, like we saw an Oracle last game, but that was just a fantastic Oracle game. I think it could still work this time around. Also gives you a little bit of that extra engage. You know, you just cast it onto your Void Spirit, then he jumps in, you let the Fortune's End go off, and then you get that initial, extra little bit of burst off the back of it. You know what hero we really haven't seen? I know the Deuce is banned out, but like, whatever happened to Nyx? Nyx into Storm still feels pretty solid to me, and you know, you're going to be able to get that initial right click off if you use the
Team Spirits,
the Carapace
turn to
on
ban.
a static remnant and drain 50%
Dire
of his
team
mana.
ban.
Feels pretty solid, right? Just to be able to reduce a lot of that, and it gives a little bit of extra pick off.
I really don't know, because a lot of the other Invis heroes, right? Like Bounty, we're not seeing as much. Ricky,
Clinks,
where we're not seeing Clinks, where we're not really seeing a whole lot either. I
10 seconds remaining.
I heard a lot of people say that Invis heroes are kind of pubby
5
heroes. They
seconds
work a lot in
remaining.
pubs, but when you play in actually a team environment, it can be a completely different ball game where people just group
Yeah.
up, they play around sentries, and they even drop
Spirits,
sentry
turn
wards as
to
well,
ban.
or sentry end observers, I should say, which is just vital when you're versing Invis heroes. So there was a lot of talk when the patch initially dropped that because of the reduction in sentries, and the bigger map was making it much easier for the Invis heroes to be nuisance across the map. I don't know
10
how much that
seconds remaining.
extra range that sentries have now is playing a factor into those Invis heroes.
5
I'm not quite
seconds
sure.
remaining.
That would really
I
be
don't
a
think
field.
so.
Yeah.
I think it's literally just people group up a lot more in Pro Dota, and they're not going to get caught out. Like, that's the way to beat Nyx and Clinks, is just have vision at all stages. Don't be alone, because they are like pick-off style supports where you can just like 100 to 0 a support.
With that being said, I know Clinks is still getting played a decent chunk in Western Europe in particular. It could really just be a regional thing. I heard there was an interview with Misery actually. Congratulations to Bleed to making it to the major as well. It was great to hear his interview, and Tsunami asked him a question like, why are we not really seeing Spirit Breaker in Southeast Asia?
Team Spirits,
Like, we're seeing a little bit,
turn
but
to pick.
nothing compared to other regions. And he pretty much the end of the thing was that wasn't really much to it, but it's a regional thing. Everyone has their own meta, and it's fun watching other people's meta and then going to LAN and seeing it all fight and battle each other and ideas crashing. So Bali Major, I mean, if nothing really changes, we still might have those Invis heroes, and we still Matthew for EG
10
might still
seconds remaining.
spam the Ricky, and then that might other people might start to pick it up then. So
5
maybe
seconds
that question
remaining.
we might ask again when the major comes around.
We'll see. Kind of interested to see how like Dream League works in the lead up to Bali, right? Because last time it made a lot of sense. Bring them to Europe, and then the majors in Europe. Now the majors in Indonesia, and where are they going to play? So how's that all going to work? We will see. We do see the Lich though, kind of as expected. I wonder if Maposhka's like, really another game, but I mean it's such a solid hero. Again, like you said, the Void Spirit can go into the Nullifier. I don't think you TA yet. I still think it's a good TA game. Yes, you are into, a Pugna, which makes things a little bit more difficult, but in a mid lane matchup against the Storm Spirit, feels relatively solid. And again, I'm also a fan of any other position 1 hero that's going to be able to go for like these backline divey heroes, like another Munkushi Slark. I wouldn't hate, because you're able to get on the backlines. You also build Nullifier, so you don't need to rely on your Void Spirit to do it. Could be also quite viable.
Team Spirits, turn to pick.
So it's going to be a
Cool,
cool
Wind
Wind
Ranger.
Ranger. Hopefully not a 1.
Well, could be Avoid one and then mid Wind Ranger. So we'll see what they to do with the draft on the one move. I wonder what they reveal on Spirit. You're gonna show your Collapse Hero now?
5 seconds remaining.
Just thinking like something that doesn't get heavily punished by the Undying, that also is like not going to just get, you know, ticked away. I mean, if it is going to be a 1 Wind Ranger, then you just, again, want something that buys Vanguard, because Wind Ranger is just going to tickle you if that's the case with those early focus fires, and still allows the Pugner to make some of those rotations, but what hero can get that done? Well,
Beastmaster.
okay, yeah, it's fine. It means you don't need to go up into melee range, so Undying might have a bit of a harder possibility. I was thinking, excuse me, maybe an Axe was another potential, just for a little bit of that like blink call lockdown that you're able to cut waves and just run away from the Undying.
10 seconds
bit the worst.
remaining.
But you know me, I'm always a fan of Beastmaster. Again, anything that's
5
just going to
seconds
enable the Storm
remaining.
that's going to have a really good game feels solid enough to me.
Team
And now you
Spirit.
can ban out
Turn
these...
to ban.
Yeah.
Sorry, go finish your thought.
Oh, I was just saying you can ban out the Slark and like Monkey King now, and then Beastmaster has a really, really solid game, so no real downsides to me.
I was gonna say the entire series you've been really asking for the Beastmaster to be a proponent for it, and you know, finally we see it in
10 seconds remaining.
second phase. I think one big advantage one move had in that previous game is they had
5
Plague
seconds
Wards and
remaining.
Proximity Mines everywhere. Like a big reason why they're able to scout out and
Dire
you
team
potentially get
back.
that vision advantage or play accordingly whenever Spirit were looking to finally take a fight. And well, now that could flip on itself. You've got the Hawks to be able to help out, so
Turn
it
to
also
ban.
really buffs up your Toro, because again, at the moment, Spirit, they really play heavily off the back of your Toro. Like where there are some games where La will come out on top, but at the moment we don't even see Collapse. Like the current offlane hero pool doesn't enable him to carry from the offlane. So at least the Beastmaster with
10
all the auras and the inner
remaining.
beast can really help your Toro be that hyper carry like they need at the late
5
game.
seconds remaining.
Unless it's Magnus, then he'll make it work. But yeah, I'm just thinking like what is left for one move to be able to pick here? Because I'm
Dire
thinking
team
like,
pick.
is there any potential at all for this Wind Ranger to be a position 3 as well? Like Wind Ranger plus Techies isn't a horrible lane. You know, you get that initial little bit of lockdown to be able to land like the power shots, for example. Plenty of ways to be able to secure the range creeps. I mean,
10
you gotta
seconds
say the
remaining.
Wind Ranger into the Beastmaster isn't terrible either, but I'm not a
5
big fan of the
seconds
Wind Ranger
remaining.
1. I mean, are they just going to go some sort of like, do you just Slark on
Team
Spirit and have that be your
Spirits,
nullifier builder? I think
Oh.
you do now.
Oh, it's banned. It's banned.
Okay.
Is
Are you thinking
PL
PL?
the pool? Yeah.
It is, but I'm just concerned that Wind Ranger is just going to, like, if she gets a good start, it's going to be very, very hard to take out this Wind
10
Ranger.
seconds
Like,
remaining.
you're going to need to pop Primal Roar for it, and then you won't have a response to the Bat Rider,
5
for
seconds
example.
remaining.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest Naga as well, but both those heroes really don't get a lot of value out of the Beastmaster. And I also think it's a bit awkward because if you put Frost Shield on Illusion Hero, then it reveals which one they are. So
Yeah.
there's going to be... It's a bit of a tricky last pick.
You need to put on the Storm, maybe. Or, again, just anyone that builds like Manta. Like, maybe they're considering a Juggernaut, for example. Like, oh no, it's banned. What else is going to build Manta? Or even just has a Dispel for themselves.
Choose
Okay, they
your
just go
hero.
PL. I was thinking maybe a PA with like eventual Aghanims, which gives the basic Dispel, but feels a little bit more awkward. PL seems okay. You're probably not going to use the Frost Shield for that. Just put it on Lyle. You know, like he is really enabled to have that good early game. So what I want to see is Gilgear make a bunch of rotations towards the mid lane to make sure that Lyle doesn't have those power runes to be able to play off the back of. Afterlife shouldn't be in too much danger if left solo against Miposhka and Yatoro. A couple of slows, but no real stuns to be able to isolate him into place, and he can always just cut lanes if that's the situation. You know me though, I'm not a huge fan of a position 1 Wind Ranger. I just feel like it's a little too narrow for mine. Yes, you're a universal hero. Yes, you could scale to the later stages of the game, and yeah, maybe it's not even a bad Glipnir game up against the Phantom Lancer as well, just to be able to provide that overall lockdown. But I think when all is said and done, they've done it 5 times before. Team Spirit, I think, will be able to take this one 2-1.
Just, you're a trends man. You said in second game that All Spirit series went the distance. Now in game 3, like you said, they're 5-0. So the trend, will it continue? You feel like it's going to. So we'll see if it's going to be enough for the Phantom Lane to last pick for Team Spirit. Of course, another staple for Yatoro. It feels like he has a lot of staples in that carry pool. But for us, first a word from EGB before we get underway.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
Easy breezy. Sesmun Kushi. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not for one move. Again, just to reiterate the stakes real quick, as we even see the old at the moment from EGB favoring Spirit at the moment. Again, the stakes. Spirit, a win here books their ticket to Bali a major. And a loss for one move means they have to play tiebreakers for relegation. But if they get this win, they will be guaranteed staying in Division 1. What do we got?
I gotta ask you, what is that thing in the middle?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
What? Joker with a mustache, white tongue in a tuxedo?
I don't know why I think of that like a
30
potato head,
seconds
but
to battle.
I don't see the tongue. And I guess if you flip it a little bit.
Upside down, yeah.
I don't know. What is this some... Ah, come on. I mean, if anyone... I was going to say, is this some anime... He's
Bro,
the scary
it's the
dude.
Joker.
He's the...
It's the Joker, dude. It's from
Oh,
the
come on,
Batman.
it's some scary anime character that they did a really bad drawing of.
Battle begins.
Nah, I would know.
Come on, it's... Or you... Yeah. Or you weebs. Oh. Uninquired. So... I really wonder how this bottom lane's actually going to go with the Batrider versus the PL. Because in the past, like really with the last patch with the Batrider, in 1v1 matchups versus lanes that had a Dispel, you were actually able to often come out on top with the change to sticky with the damage. Now, I haven't seen Batrider with this new build where we kind of see like a lot more points in Firefly for the lane. So I don't know if it's actually going to be somewhat even against Yatoro's Phantom Lancer, so I'm very excited to see how Afterlife's actually going to be able to play down bottom.
Yeah, I mean, he's already leveled up the Flame Break level 1 just to be able to a little bit more reliably secure the range creep here. Try and hold my posture away.
Oh my, I didn't know the burn duration was a flat 5 second.
Yep.
Okay.
Dire's top
I mean,
tower
seeing
is
everyone
under
get level
attack.
1 Flame Break, I'm just like, I swear it's still only 2 seconds. What's going on? But that makes a lot more sense.
So the lane did actually push all the way back underneath the mid-tier 1 tower for Ankrad. So while it means that he is slightly ahead in terms of experience, it will mean that Lyle is completely uncontested. He's looking to farm this wave and should put him slightly ahead of him. This really just does come down to a skill matchup, right? Of course, both Mira and Gilgear are going to look to help out with those power runes and even the water runes early on, because I really don't think you can let Lyle get off to a good start. He played a really good game number 1. Of course, helped out by the Pugna, but this time around, Ankrad doesn't have a busted hero like the Quap to be able to bank on in those later stages. They have answers to this Void Spirit. They have the instant lockdown, even stuff that goes through the BKB eventually.
Yeah, I mean, overall though, from these mid laners, but besides the lane, like you said, Loa had a very good game 1, Ankrad had an exceptional game 2. Who comes out on top in this third game though? Because both sides really don't have a lot of stuns. So could we see the spirits from both sides as actually mirror top lane? Oh, first blood. All right, Pantsman and Munkushi, beautifully done. Let's strike first in our game 3. But back to the mid question. Is there a spirit you feel like will really take over this game?
I mean, obviously the Storm Spirit is much more enabled too. Sorry, I'm looking at the bot side with Maposhka taking a ton of harass as well from Gilgear, even throwing out the Blood Grenade, just because he's got the Pugna to play with, right? Ankrad doesn't have that same sort of flexibility, and this is why I'm really emphasizing the Water Runes as such an important tool for both heroes to be able to play around. Like you can see Lyle, every little bit of harass that he can get on Ankrad, especially if he's able to keep those that full bottle available, it's going to be a big plus for him, but right now Ankrad's doing a fairly decent job. You also have to remember that Collapse in this top lane will have Mira looking to help him out, as eventually the weight of that strong lane is going to be a little bit too much from Miposhka. But Collapse, he's going to be able to catch up if he has a poor start, just off the back of some wild axes into the jungle. As voice, I think, issues. As Mira can look to when he makes rotations towards the mid lane to help out with the water rune, he can look to build up some of the stacks. It's just keep it mindful of, like, can Collapse stay in this lane solo? He looks like he's going for the Helm of Iron Will early on, so maybe it's actually going to be Helm of the Dominator style, feeling that, you know, maybe an Undying and a Bat Rider and a Techies don't quite have the same capability of dealing with that sort of push. It's something that we see as much these days, the Helm Dom style. We've seen a lot of the drums of Slum. Is about getting Collapse those first few early levels. It's 150 gold away from the Helm of Iron Will, and just that on its own is enough to potentially allow Mira to make the movement towards the mid lane. He's looking to soak up a little bit of this experience up top, but can look to leave now, maybe even yoink away the bounty rune on his way through. This is the sort of cooperation that you need from the full team, as Lyle, he goes bottom, Mira goes top, and Lyle should be very happy about the outcome overall here. Yeah, can even get the bounty on the way back. Might even snipe the courier as well. And that'd be a pretty big one. Pugna's pretty speedy for a support. As, yeah, there we go. No Wraith Band for you, Munkushi. Good early movements coming out from Mira. Even blocking up the small camp, removing the block onto Team Spirits, and Kanto has to be a little careful. I suppose he does have plenty of Magos to be able to play around with. It's actually Collapse that might be in a little bit of trouble. The Helm of Iron will saving him.
Oh,
sidestep.
nice sidestep. And Mira, yeah.
Not the bait lake.
Yeah, we both reacted the same when we saw him run down the lake. He's it's own death. Signed
it's alright, Mira. Stacks coming up. You know, I'm sure you just got to keep a PMA for his teammate.
Alright. One definitely powerful thing about the Beastmaster. One move can very much contest it though with the lineup they do have, so a lot of the attention needs to be put on the supports, and really that's probably going to be Undying that needs to try and find a way to slip one past and drop some vision down. Who, speaking of the Undying, might be in a bit of an awkward position. We'll have Munkushi to offer some assistance. Second, the power shot's going to be off the mark, but Pantherman still able to get the kill. I mean, it's a streak Collapse gets though.
Yeah, he's very, very happy with that. Not just the streak, but the solo experience as well off the back of that. He was a full level behind Munkushi at that point, but brings it back to half. Means that even though this Wind Ranger's having a good time in the lane, you're going to be able to recover on the Beastmaster. And all you need is levels for those Wild Axes to really start to get value once those stacks are starting to be built up. You see Mira, again, just playing around Lyle, TPing in, refilling the bottle, helping to protect the top rune as well. Panto doing the exact same thing.
Nice setup from Gilgear. They're able to get a kill into Miposhka and the D-Ward as well, so very cute read from Gilgear, doing a lot to start for the techies. Secures the room, gets a kill, gets the bounty.
Even more TPs coming towards that mid lane. Wanting another refill for the bottle, making sure Lyle is just perfectly happy with this start to the game. You know, a lot of people have been criticizing Lyle's gameplay, but when you give him his Spirit Heroes, he almost never disappoints. Of course, big shoes to fill. Upside, Collapse once again. A little bit of aggression coming in onto him. This is that rotation that's enabled by that bottle being refilled. They get the kill onto Munkushi. Still just level 3 on Mira though, and he probably wants to walk back. Might be able to get another stack off on the way through, and will be able to secure the Wisdom Rune for himself as well. So, as just these multiple moves, they'll be able to scout out the fact that it was de-warded as well.
Middle tower is under attack.
Slow in trouble? Like a stun Slow's alright. Yeah, double Wisdom Rune picked up for Team Spirit. Ankrat's still gonna go for it. Want to try and force out some reactions with the Haste Rune. He's got another Astral Step if he wants, and
they see that they've got a bunch of stacks available. Yoink.
Yummy, yummy.
Is under attack.
Steal those away and get the hell out. Mira Have to drop down the Nether Ward, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Already removed away, not taking the Watcher on his way through, so it's going to be done under complete darkness, and we'll be hating the fact that that was taken away from Collapse, but at least Collapse got a little bit of time, and in the lane means that he's got Helm of the Dominator coming out to him, I believe, and also means that he's almost at the top of the net worth charts after what was a pretty rough start to the game.
It honestly seems like a lot of the callers are happy with what's going on. I mean, Utoro PL can be weak early on, so he's got out of that weakness. Aincrad, nice jump once again. Remnant's going to be on the mark. Double ultimate, no hesitation. Aincrad's able to find his second kill of the game, putting himself top of the net worth.
I like the fact that kills are worth more these days. You know, previously those sorts of rotations were just never worth it because you were always able to get more farm out of the lanes versus, you know, what you're able to get for a kill. These days, 250 gold, very much worthwhile.
And it's also a lot of experience as well. It's not just the gold. Like, we're seeing... Really, a big thing is just in the lanes in particular, with those extra spells coming into favor, or just the extra levels in them as well. I think that's a big reason why we're seeing a lot of these crazy first bloods happen, which we actually haven't seen this series, which is a bit surprising. But this past patch, we still had the 5-bend smokes, but it feels like now even more vital with dropping wards down. If you can get that first blood for a call, potentially the lane can be very, very much easier from there.
The thing that I really like about Team Spirit this game is that they are immediately reacting to what One Move do. So One Move had some nice movements previously. They looked to steal away some of the stacks. This time around, Mira builds them up, immediately Collapse goes to take them away. They also remove 2 Observer Wards, one that was scouting out that stack being taken, and one that enabled the kill onto Miposhka on the bottom side of the map. So with that, you not only take some of the stacks, bringing Miposhka up to level 5 now, but also he gets the XP bounty from that stack as well. All the while, they give Mira some solo XP in the mid lanes, so he also gets closer to his own level 6. I want to see him stick right close to this ancient camp as well. This will absolutely get him up to that full level 6, and, you know, once again, just enable the Storm Spear even further. 10-man stomp by the Centaur there by Collapse. It's bottom again. Gets the deny off on Miposhka. Nicely done. Might pay with
They're
his
gonna
life.
go for him though. 3 points frost shield.
Like, at least for now, inaction is something that Team Spirit are very happy about. You know, you want to have time to make your stacks. You want to have time for the PL to start to scale. You want to let the Pugna reach level 6, and all of that's happened. Mira's level 6 now. Miposhka as well. He's just level 5, but looks like they might be looking to go for a smoke with the 3 of them, with this full creep wave Pando needing to deal with. And nice Mighty Senses coming through from Yotoro as well, getting the hell away from that lane as soon as Aincrad showed he was not present in the mid lane for quite some time. So they make a move up towards the top side, maybe place down some deep vision on Mira. Might be able to see that Mukushi is farming towards the right side, but just not quite enough vision just yet. So it's the right sort of move, but it seems like Aincrad have sort of anticipated that as well with his movement and very aggressively looking to take this bottom tier 1 tower. Panto might be sacrificed for it, but if you're taking a tier 1 safe lane tower, I think you're very happy to make that sort of trade. He's Collapse able to do the same with his Helm of the Dominator. You mentioned the Frost Shield not really providing that much utility, but I mean, even just the Vlad's component of the Helm of the Overlord really going to serve the PL well.
Bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I
defend this tower too, soak up some experience for himself. Gets him his level 6.
Hang on, Phantom? I just be feeding another kill over. I just TP back in and now Tombstone laid down some extra gold for the boys on Spirit. There's only so much Aincrad's able to do. Almost was enough.
As well.
Tori's got Diffusal, he's ready to go. Afterlife? Instant use of the lasso to be able to set up for Gilgir as well, but the stomach, it's not enough. Yotoro finds an opportunity to play around with the doppelganger, so lasso from Afterlife, first use of it to no avail, and now Collapse, he's rotated mid.
Illusion. It's a great rune for Lyle to be able to have, means that he can look to commit a little bit further if he's on point, doesn't even need to use the other ball light to be able to dodge out things like the shackle shot, the Aether Remnant, some of the stuns coming through from Gilgear, and of course, all of the damage over time from Afterlife.
Gilgear's only level 4.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
This is
Oh,
the spirit
boy.
that I wanted to see coming out. You know, the one that just... Everything seems to synergize so well together with their draft, right? Pugna Storm, easy said and done. The Pugna, great person that plays off of just levels. You know, all you need is your level 6. What is one of the best heroes at being able to take some of the stacks that gets enabled by that? It's the Beastmaster. And, you know, even just Beastmaster and Storm Spirit enables you to go for these jumps. You can see, even just preemptively, placing out these Hawks, seeing where a lot of the farm is being done, seeing if they could potentially look to steal away some of the one-move farm, but it doesn't look like that's the case, so they're going to look to emphasize a little bit more around the mid lane, get the free pick off onto the level 4 Techies instead, and, you know, just continue to snowball across the top side of the map. I mean, PL is still farming while all this is happening, and I know I mentioned that Team Spirit won a passive game, but you would have to say for Munkushi, he wants to start getting active ASAP. He's just finished up the Maelstrom, so probably can look to do so, but how much will you lose in the meantime? It'll take away not even a stack.
We can get Pentimum as well. So before that double kill that Spirit were able to find off the back of the aggression, and alright, so more going their way as well. And before all this, the EGB odds for Spirit was $1.03, I think it was, and 9 for one move. So it's just Spirit off to a great start. Everything they needed. Witchblade on Lyle. Level 10 as well. He's balling out of control. 5-0-1, top of the network. This is what they needed from him. Had a bit more of a rougher game too, but this is going to be huge for the confidence as well. He can just play really freely this game, knowing there's really not a whole lot that he has to be worried about in regards to stuns. It's going to be very difficult for them to be able to find that first one into the chain lock afterwards.
Yeah, I was almost thinking that they might consider going towards this bottom tier 1 tower. They've got great vision around the one-move Ancient camp, in, you know, a little bit unorthodox areas, and, you know, Pugna plus Helm of the Overlord available. Really feels like that's their time, considering there isn't too many other objectives for one move to be playing around with on that bottom side of the map, but maybe just wanting to get into that next item timing, perhaps the Kaya Sanj. I mean, he's only 600 gold away from it on Lyle. Perhaps might even be able to make this push happen on his own. Just going to walk behind, get the Ancient Thunderhide, and use that to help with the push. So might just be a trio of smoke coming through here from Aposhka and Mira. Seems like they don't even need it.
But we need a... Speaking about smokes for Spirit, we need to see one move start to do something. The fact that Gilgear is only level 5 means that the Void Spirit doesn't have anyone to play with. You want to make fights, so you want to be aggressive on Aincrad and try and have these quick skirmishes, but by yourself at this stage, it's going to be very rare for you to have the damage to be able to find these solo kills. You need heroes to be able to combine with. It's not going to be the Undying. Maybe it's the Bat, or it will be the Bat Rider with Boots of Travel, but until then, Afterlife is still trying to play his own farm game. But because of this, because experience and goal, limited towers, that tier 2 is going to fall. It's a lot of concerns with what they're going to be able to do.
Doing way too much. They cannot deal. Creep that's been used with the Helm of the Overlord. Also, level 12. Now he's going into the auras. You know, auras.
Anchor.
Any sort of illusion.
He's inside this cage. With the ultimate, he's a freebie. Instant zip on over. Now goes for Pantomime as well. It's going to be 2 for 1, but Lyle has plenty of mana to work with. Now they're even hunting as well. Collapse. Yeah, why not go for the objectives instead of the kills? They're happy with that. You've got the summons starting to swing on over. And this game is really getting out of control pretty fast. 6,000 net worth lead at the 16-minute mark.
We really just haven't felt Munkushi's presence. You know, last game, the Slark, it always felt like he was there. He was getting up in the Juggernaut's face. Even if he wasn't able to get the kill, he was forcing him back. He was forcing play on the defensive. This time around, I just don't think that a position 1 Rin Ranger can be playing off the back of, like, waiting all the way until you get into this Glipnir. It's still a good Glipnir game, but you got to be using that focus fire to its full effect.
That, and again, Gilgear can't be level 5 at 15 minutes. That can't happen. Like, he needs to speak up and say, well, they had that. Yeah, it took too long. That's the thing. He needs to speak up and say, I need a lane.
Are fortified.
Because now this
Dire's top tower
is a very hard position to come back into. I mean, it's a late game. There's no doubt about it. Yotaro will win this game. And the fact that they're already winning early on has to be a huge concern for one move.
I mean, cheeky things. Playing on the edge, she, you know, zips behind through tower, nukes the wave. Batrider was there waiting to use those boots of travel with the lasso. Wind Ranger TP's up to be able to make it happen, and then he just zips away. And they still end up getting the tower. They still are going to get Roshan, and Wind Ranger doesn't have any status to be able to do things with on the map. Like, she's just got the run of Atos, but still another 600 gold from the Glypnir. You don't have a TP to be able to join in up onto the top side to be able to fight. This is not a good spot for one move to be in. If Fred can get into the Manta, you know, just at least a little bit of extra damage output, but by that time, you've already got the Manta on Yatoro, and he'll have his level 15 as well, so might just opt to go into the plus 15 strength, make himself even harder to kill.
is under attack.
And it does really feel like they can play this poke and prod style on Team Spirit, doesn't it? You know, he's going into the Aghanims on Yatoro next, so if that double Spirit lands, bouncing around, doing bonus illusion damage, you've got the Wild Axes.
Minkushi. Ooh, can't be losing a Wind Ranger. Nice Atos away, but it's not going to matter. Lars got plenty of men cover the distance with ease.
But yeah, like, what's really stopping them from just throwing out spells from afar, right? Storm Spirit zips in, especially with the Aegis, you know, does some damage, gets on out, gets healed up by the Pugna. You've got vision to allow that sort of stuff to happen. You've got Lich who can play super far on the back lines. This is a really early gem picked up by Maposhka, but I love it, right? Like, you're just completely taking away all areas of the map that they have in terms of vision, and you've got plenty of vision yourselves just off the back of Collapse. Not even just using his Hawks, but the Boars as well, just providing an additional amount of info for them to play with.
Dire's middle tower.
Say goodbye to your last
My
tier two.
friend. Say goodbye to Afterlife as well. Dude, Lal is putting in some work. Yatoro, can he get to the... he's got... Dude, that lasso lasted barely any time. Kaya and Sunj. Beautiful thing, status resistance is. Now at Kilgear as well. Sweep across they go. Like you said, take those towers. All the outers ones are gone now.
Might even be able to take away the Tormentor, right? But it really wouldn't begrudge them to play down towards this bottom side of the map. It's where all the valuable farm is. It's where the Ancients are. It's where that 21-minute Wisdom Rune is. Going to put them even further ahead in terms of experience. And if you can take that Tormentor, I mean, now Maposhka would even have some additional output or to be able to do some damage with that Chain Frost, not even needing an additional target to bounce around. And that is no Manta for Anchoret now.
Oh no, that's devastating.
They've even got two tier 2 up Team Spirit that they haven't even needed to use. And here we go. More of a tile. Collapse has the back. Plus the number of you. They torment right.
Can they fight this? Let's see if it'll work out. Angrab double step is out. Like, consider not poking it, but they need a way to address it. Yatoro is just going to tear apart the Undying.
Nice
Doesn't have enough damage though.
Put one illusion off to the left-hand side, maybe trying to bait out that lasso, but not taking the bait. Still do end up losing that Wisdom Rune though, and the Tormentor as first possible to get it as well with the Lich. So now you've even got extra movement speed slow in the middle of these fights. Not like you needed it, but it just makes it so hard to be able to defend against this. Anchoret would love just to have that courier available. Probably not even going to give them the option. Minute 50 left on the Aegis. Put Lal on the front lines. You can even just use the Ancient Black Dragon for it.
Long zip in. Lal sees a freebie outside the lane. He's going to be able to get the Glimmer Cape off though in time. Once his Scepter's delivered on Yatoro, it's going to be so much easier to see it just poking from afar.
So you got to find Mira.
To take the
Mira and Maposhka need to get blown the hell up on these backlines. Yatoro wouldn't be the worst pick either.
See if they can have the damage though. Mira's going to be staying on the right side. Medic Mira once again is going to be enough for Mimo Mikushi. Tries to move on forward, but once he crosses the boundary, he's gone, and the rest of one move, they're going to follow him into the grave as well, as Lal's just having a free fight. time after time, this Storm Spirit's gone unaddressed. A first phase pick for Team Spirit. And Lal is putting in work. 10-0-6 from him.
Performance that you wanted to see. He's still got 50 seconds left on the Aegis, so I'm sure he feels confident to be able to make another jump onto Anchorad while he still doesn't have that Manta from the Courier available. Looks like they'll be happy enough just to take mid, though. Still having the same Ancient Black Dragon that they had this whole time. And, well, there we go. Poor Panto. Even Tier 4 Tower is not enough to be able to stop this Storm Spirit from continuing the dive. Yeah, maybe Anchorad respawning with the Manta is enough, though.
The potion is just constantly feeding over cells as well to Mira with the shovel. So Mira heals up Lal. I mean, he's got the tranks, of course, but we're just like, I'll give you an extra little bit of health back as well.
Oh, and a shield rune as well. Like Lal needed any more
wow.
license to be ballsy.
Why does it give so much shield? And why does it last 90 seconds? Isn't all the other runes like 40, 60,
Shields
45, some of them? See, oh, shields are strong. This one's uber strong. Some might say even a little bit broken. Well, there goes your carry Wind Ranger, long zip in, and she's gonna try and do whatever she can to turn around, but a shield rune's pretty cool. That's very cool. Now they also get another Panto as well outside the base. Well, this is Spirit that we were waiting for. I mean, Danog, the trend looks like it's gonna continue. They'll drop one map, but the one map doesn't matter. They learn from it, and in the end, all their series go 3 games. It is looking very clean.
Continuing to be a mess. I mean, it's such a reliable duo, right? And if you're not going to directly counter it with, I don't know, something like an Ancient Apparition could stop the Pugna, maybe something else of your own that's able to make that backline jump. They tried it with the Bat Rider and the Void Spirit, but... Is he gonna live?
Look at the Bat Rider's health! What? Oh my god. He goes away. Megas, 1G, 2nd G. So, the thing that took me by surprise before I saw that fight break out is, Lal went Yasha and Kaya as well. He's got double. Sanjin Kaya, Yasha and Kaya. Why not for Lal?
All the
Lals
swords
for them. And congratulations, of course, to Team Spirit. They will be the first team out of Eastern Europe booking their ticket to the Bali Major. Well deserved from them. Of course, it's always exciting to see these boys as well on the land stage.
Get your tropical shirts ready, boys. Get ready to crack open a few cold ones and enjoy time over in Indonesia. I mean, it's going to be pretty exciting to see, you know, everyone coming over to SEA. Hopefully, there's no Bali Belly incidents that ends up going on, but, you know, it's such an important win for Team Spirit, right? Guaranteeing themselves top 2 within the Eastern European region, minimum 300 DPC points, and, you know, they've racked up a decent amount throughout the season, but every single one counts. I think last year was about 1,020 that you needed to be able to qualify for TI. There's a few teams that have already reached around that point, but, I mean, just every little extra bit you can get, just to make it an absolute certainty, even if you don't get top 8 at this major, will make it to TI. So, one move, this does mean that we're going to have relegation tiebreakers at the very end, with 2 teams at the absolute minimum, One Move and Hydra being part of that, but they could be joined by Namiga, who are currently sitting 2 and 3, with still BetBoom and Virtus Pro left to play.
Yes, so for them, 2 chances, but 2 chances against some very, very difficult teams. So we'll see what Namiga are able to pull out of the hat. Their victories have been against One Move and Aleikum Ni Hao. So if they can somehow manage another victory, they will be able to, like you said, avoid those tiebreak relegation for a little bit of... I'd like some selfishness for there to be 3 teams, so we get the 3-way tiebreaker. So I'm sorry, Namiga, I hope you lose those 2 games, but nothing against you. I just want 3-way tiebreakers. I want some more excitement towards the tail end of our final tour as well. But for tonight, though, we're the distance for the last series. First one was very convincing, though. 9 Pandas were able to topple Hydra. Nothing too crazy out of the 3rd place major team at Berlin, but like we said for Spirit, they're going to be moving over as well. So still 2 more slots up for grabs here in Eastern Europe. There's still a lot on the line to play for. So got a couple days as well. 2 more days left of action.
Yeah, that's right. So in the other days that we've got, it's going to be in 2 days, I believe. VP, Namiga, Betboom, Aleikum Ni Hao, and then the big one, 9 Pandas taking on Team Spirit. That's going to be a really big one, and it's one that VP, especially, I'm sure, are going to be cheering for Team Spirit to go flawless with a 7-0 run, because that would mean that on the last day, we get Betboom, Namiga, and 9 Pandas taking on VP. So if VP are able to beat Namiga, and if 9 Pandas lose to Team Spirit, if VP find a way to beat 9 Pandas, that means they're going to the major. That would mean that they would be 5-2, as all said and done, which would be pretty hype and a great way to be able to end off this summer tour.
That it would indeed. So again, still a lot to play for here for the final tour of the year. Another congratulations to Team Spirit. Hopefully they're going to be able to knock it out of the park at the Bali Major. But for us, we are done for the night. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Like Danog said, we'll be back in a couple of days for some more summer tour action here for Eastern Europe Division 1. We'll see you guys then.